Hello everyone and welcome to episode 36 of my Guild Wars 2 series. Today we are going back out into the open world and are going to be doing some more map completion today, including map completing Caledon Forest. We are at 84% out of 100% for completing Caledon Forest. So let's go ahead and waypoint back towards the Lion Guard way station here, and we can explore the last little bit of the zone we have left and then head into Brisban Wildlands. So here next to the edge of the swamp, we can go ahead and come into the swamp here, and then we have a bunch of different map completion objectives that we can get. First things first, I think I'm going to head over here towards this waypoint and we can unlock this waypoint. There's also a meta going on here right now, and I'm not entirely sure if this meta is going to be one that leads to the world boss, because there is indeed a world boss here in Caledon Forest. This is a very content dense map, and this is a very content dense area in the map where we have a world boss with a meta event. We have a dungeon and we have a mini dungeon here. So let's go ahead and actually come south a little bit, because I don't think this is going to be a world boss. And we can go ahead and take a look at the mini dungeon that is here. I got this waypoint, so there's only one more waypoint left to get, which is just a little bit north of here. And then we have one of my favorite mini dungeons in the game, but we have these Hylic villages right here with all the Hylic in it. So let's go ahead and fight them. And then we see that there's a chieftain right there that we can fight as well. This is kind of optional for the mini dungeon. We don't necessarily have to do this, but I'm just going to do it anyways, just to kind of clear the path a little bit here. And they are pretty easy to deal with because this is a very low level area. But with this chieftain down, we can go ahead and grab one of these boulders here. There are 3 different boulders, and then we can come over here to this gong and we can hit it with the boulder, and it opens this gate right here. And now I'm going to go ahead and get on my raptor, and we are going to go ahead and ride through here. And then there are a bunch of veteran Hylics in here, as well as a champion Hylic. And we are just going to ride straight past them because I don't want to deal with them. I normally like just run past them even if I didn't have a raptor. We have some arrow traps right here that is kind of dealing a little bit of damage for us, but isn't too big of a deal. But we have this giant room in here, and as you can see right there is a statue, and there are 4 different torches around this room that are unlit. So if you take these tiers of Adlauco here that are on the ground, we can go ahead and start maneuvering them around here to be able to match the pattern on the floor here, because you see there is a 3x3 grid here. We can go ahead and make the grid match the lights up there. So let's go ahead and move this tier of Adlauco here. We can put this one here, and then I think this is the last one we need. We can pull those 2 off, and we'll have another torch that lights up, and then these patterns will change. So let's go ahead and start moving these around again. We can go ahead and move this up here, and then we need to put 3 in the middle right here. So then let's go ahead and do the 4th and final pattern that we need, and we can go ahead and put 3 on the bottom, and then 1 in the middle there, and then 2 in the top corners, not in the middle there. And then with that, we have opened the gate, and we can go ahead and come through here, and then we can open up the chest right here. This is kind of like a very difficult mini dungeon to complete when there's a bunch of people, because people don't fully understand how to do the mini dungeon, but our friend here knew how to do it as well. So we can go ahead and just get our chest there like we did, and then we'll come out of this gate here and we can continue exploring Caledon Forest. I have made YouTube videos for a very long time, and I made them when I was in high school, but a lot of those are privated or deleted now. But I was making like a machinima like series related to like this mini dungeon, or like the themes of this mini dungeon, which I ultimately like deleted all those when I was younger, which is unfortunate, but I am considering kind of like remaking something like that again in the future, so that is something a little fun to look out for. But right here we have a bunch of Nightmare Court, and we can come grab this waypoint right here that is at the entrance to Twilight Arbor, which is my favorite dungeon in the game out of all 8 dungeons. But that is something that we will be exploring in the future, because for now we're just going to be completing this task as we kill our 100th Nightmare Court. This task is pretty easy to complete because there's a bunch of Nightmare Court around, and I have a ton of AoE abilities, so it's pretty easy to get a lot of progress on this pretty quickly, as we kill 2 right there. And we can come over here where there's a Power for Darkness right here, and we can go ahead and interact with this to begin a hero challenge, so we can get another hero point. Just clear out this mortar right here, and this mortar is on like 1 health right there, and I think that would complete my task. It did, and I leveled up to level 25. And now let's go ahead and do this hero challenge where we have a veteran Knight of Sorrows and 2 attendants of Sorrows. So let's go ahead and defeat them. I think the voice acting there is a little messed up, but let's go ahead and just finish the Sylvari Nightmare Court right here. and then we can go ahead and move on to the last task that we have after this hero challenge. I think there are 4 points of interest that I have not gotten, so we might have to go through the map really quickly in order to find all of them that I have missed. But this hero challenge is now ours, and we have 1 additional hero point. So let's go ahead and get my level up rewards as well, and then let's go ahead and check my map and see what I missed out. So we have this task right here that we can come back to, but I'm going to hover over this, and I missed 2 right there, so we can go ahead and get those pretty easily. And then looking down here, I feel like, oh, I missed 2 right here, so let's go ahead and come here first. So we have a Nightmare Court camp that is right here that would have been part of our chapter 1 personal story if you had picked a different option, but we can go ahead and get this point of interest, and then let's go ahead and go over to the east side of this area, and we can get the other point of interest, which I believe is a Hylic village. Coming through here, we do indeed have another Hylic village. There are a ton of those in this area, and I like the Hylic quite a bit, and I might make a story video about them sometime soon. For anyone who's watched my story videos and is also watching my Let's Play videos, thank you to you, I really appreciate you. But let's go ahead and come back up north, and we can get these 2 points of interest right here. Running north here, we see another Hylic village, and I believe this group of Hylic are actually friends with us, which is very nice. And then as we get this point of interest, let's go ahead and continue running north. I'm not going to help out the village right now. Running down here along the beach to the Quetzal Bay, we have some Hylic right here that are not friends with us, and we can go ahead and get this point of interest. Out of the 4 point of interests we missed, 3 of them were Hylic villages and 1 was a Nightmare Court camp. But we have now gotten all the point of interest in this map, and that means we only have 1 map completion objective left, which is the 1 task right up here. So let's go ahead and complete that. This is kind of a fun area because I mentioned when we were in Keswick's Hills on our human, I talked about how there used to be like monthly achievements, and one of the monthly achievements was to fight a bunch of veterans. This is the other spot that I would come to. I would go there if there was groups doing that event to be able to get some veteran kills, but I would come here and solo these veteran moss hearts in order to complete that monthly achievement if I was wanting to do it by myself. But all around here we just have a bunch of different jungle trolls that we can go ahead and fight, and they have some trophy spikes that we can destroy, and then some warning signs that we can build up, and then we can just complete this task, which is the last thing we need for Caledon Forest. I feel like this is one of the zones that I've spent the most time in this Let's Play series. Maybe Queensdale is the only one that I spent a little bit more time in because I was introducing more ideas of the game, but Caledon Forest definitely has a ton of content, and we did, for the most part, all of the open world content. We haven't done any of the metas yet, which we might come back to at some point a long time down the road. But I really enjoy like all the different mini dungeons and shopping puzzles in this zone that I have talked about many different times, and we've seen all of them now. And yeah, I've mentioned overall Caledon Forest is just one of my favorite zones in Guild Wars 2. And we are almost done with this task now. Just need to fight that troll, which is our 10th troll that we've killed. This might be the first time we've ever fought trolls in Guild Wars 2 actually, but we have completed this task, and that means we have completed Caledon Forest now, so we can get our rewards there. Nothing too great from this map completion, but I'll go ahead and clean up my inventory a little bit, and then let's go ahead and head into Brisban Wildlands, and we can begin exploring this zone more in depth again. So this is an area that we explored on our Shurin character only a few episodes ago actually, and for the most part we explored a little bit more than half of the zone, and it was mostly like the southern half and the western half over here. So now we're going to look at the eastern half and the northern half, or quarters, or however you want to say it. But let's go ahead and talk to the scout right here to see what the area ahead looks like.
Brisban Wildlands is a secluded area that has drawn some unsavory attention as of late. The Nightmare Court has taken up residence in the caverns, as well as near our revered tree to the north. If you decide to travel here, be watchful at all times.
So we see right here, we have a Peacemaker, a Seraph, and then also a Sylvari Valiant. So let's go ahead and start exploring this map a little bit. And for the most part, I'm going to try to complete every single map completion objective that we did not complete on our Ashura. And I'm not going to be completing the map as a whole, but if we combine our Ashuran exploration in this map and our Sylvari exploration, I'm pretty sure it'll be a 100% exploration together. So right at the start here, we just have a bunch of Nightmare Court, similar to what we were dealing with in the swamp in Caledon Forest, which makes a lot of sense because it is right next to each other. And this is where we came to during the Assuran personal story, where we were dealing with some of the Assuran politics. We have a point of interest right up here that I actually got already called Joy's End, and we are halfway done with this task now. Coming into our hero panel, we do have a new trait line that we can fill in. So let's go ahead and come down to training and start looking at some of these traits. So we have Spite, we have Curses, we have Death Magic, we have Blood Magic, and we have Soul Reaping. So I'm not too familiar with all the different Necromancer traits that exist in the game, but I do know Blood Magic is very supportive. This is a very important trait line for people who want to play like support Necromancers, which I have played a tiny bit of, but my fiance has played quite a bit of. But the other ones are better for some DPS. I don't think there's too much tanky stuff other than in like Blood Magic. But let's go ahead and come into Soul Reaping perhaps, and let's go ahead and just learn all these traits that we can right here. And then we can go ahead and slot this in our build here, and then let's go ahead and look at some of these, and we'll probably move on to the next task as we do so. But we have Gluttony right here, which increases the amount of life force gained from all sources, which is very nice. And then we also have here Sinister Shroud, Shroud skills gain reduced recharge, which is also very nice. But Soul Reaping here is really good for our Shroud. But let's go ahead and quickly move on to the next area, which is just north of here, and we can go ahead and help out some of the Skrit near Skritsburg, but we're not going to go inside because we've already done that on this character during our personal story last episode, and we explored all the open world part of that on our Assuran. We have a vista right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. And then let's go ahead and come down here and start working on this task. So we have some Nightmare Court here, and there are a ton of prisoners, and there are some Skrit events that happen right here. So let's go ahead and just start fighting a bunch of the Nightmare Court. And looking back at our traits, we can go ahead and look at our first line right here. So we have Unyielding Blast, Shroud skill 1 inflicts vulnerability. We have Soul Marks, marks become unblockable and generate life force when triggered. And then Speed of Shadows, entering Shroud grants swiftness and removes movement impairing conditions. And I was initially looking at Soul Marks because that seems like very nice for us to be able to just have our Shroud up all the time, but I think I might actually go ahead and go with Speed of Shadows right now, so we can go ahead and use that once we're out of combat. So I'll select that, and then right here we only have one option so far because we haven't learned the other ones, but entering or exiting Shroud increases all damage you deal for a duration, so our damage increases by 10% for 15 seconds, which is very nice. So we can come into Shroud and then we'll just deal a bunch of extra damage, and when we exit we will also get that again, so we can deal a ton of damage, which we do deal a ton of damage with all of our marks right here. So we can just blow up these Nightmare Hounds and feel very powerful with that trait. We have a point of interest right here called Beldame's Rise, and we just got our 500th kill with the staff, which is very nice. It is also a good idea for us to take a look at our character adventure guide so we know what we have to do in order to progress like this tutorial and get some bonus experience in our leveling here. And we have completed all of Volume 1, so coming into Volume 2, this is mostly what we're working on right now. We haven't unlocked Volume 3 at all yet, so we are leveling up to level 30, and basically we want to try to complete this by the time we're around level 30. But here we want to complete 10 different events, so maybe I'll keep an eye out for any events that spawn. And then we want to gather some crafting materials, complete some hearts in Brisban Wildlands, which we will definitely be doing, and getting some point of interest vistas and waypoints in this area as well. And we could apply dye and we could do a world boss. So I think I'll go ahead and actually look at my dye because I haven't really looked at it on this character, and I'm not wanting to put in too much effort right now, but I think I might kind of go with like a green and purple vibe maybe. We don't really have like the best armor for dyeing right now, but let's go ahead and do that, and I'm just not going to put in too much effort right now. So let's go ahead and look at this, and it looks a little interesting. I like it a little bit, so we can go ahead and apply that, and we completed that tutorial mission right there. We are just about to complete this task, which killing that termite did allow us to complete that task and allowed us to level up to level 26. So let's go ahead and mount up, and then we can get this point of interest right here that is right next to this revered tree that the Sylvari was talking about earlier. And we have a karma merchant right here that we can go ahead and talk to. You could get a magical fruit and improves our condition damage by 40 for 30 seconds on kill and plus 10 experience on kills. Let's go ahead and buy one of these, and then I'll go ahead and eat it so we have this buff for 10 minutes, which will definitely benefit us because we do deal quite a bit of condition damage. But let's go ahead and head north a little bit, and I see a scout right up here. And I think this is where I was talking about there being scrit events. So let's go ahead and actually come across this bridge again, and let's go ahead and chat with the scout about this area.
It seems strange to find bandits this far south, but here they are. And in large numbers, too. Willem's group tries to steal our supplies when they aren't harassing the local scrit. If that wasn't bad enough, Scotta's bunch have taken control of the route to the west. Between you and me, we have no idea what those thugs are up to out there.
So let's go ahead and help with this event right here, and we can progress our task. So let's go ahead and find any of the bandits around here, and we can also destroy some of these rodent traps here. We also have another event going on right there with that pack cart that we could help out with if we wanted. I see some bandits here, so let's go ahead and fight them. We have the Seraph camp right here, and we have some Seraph fighting some of the bandits that are stealing supplies from the camp. So let's go ahead and intercept this one. And then we can go ahead and get the waypoint on the point of interest that is right here. So here is the point of interest for Seraph Protectors, the group of Seraph here in this area. And then we have this waypoint right here. And then of course we have the map portal to Kessex Hills. But coming up here, we can go ahead and come through this little bit of a pass through the hills right here. And then we have Bandit Supplier Willem and 2 Golemancers. So let's go ahead and fight this bandit because this will be another event for us. And I actually don't think I've ever done this event before. I don't really remember this at all, but this is the bandit leader who's in charge of this camp, it looks like. So we can go ahead and try to stop him and stop the operations around here. He just knocked me down, that's not very nice, but let's go ahead and come all the way back around, I guess. We have our long range staff right here, and we have some Inquest pilots that are fighting us now, and then that bandit supplier is now dead. So let's go ahead and fight these Skelk, and then let's go ahead and get the point of interest that is right next to us here. So we have the bandit camp right here, and there are a ton of different bandits in here. So let's go ahead and group them all up, and then we can fight them all.
You're kidding, right?
This bandit camp is built right next to a cave that goes farther back in there, which is very interesting. But let's go ahead and just finish up the bandits that are around here. And with this bandit, I think we will have completed this task. So let's go ahead and grab this reward really quickly. And then I'm going to move further west because our scout told us about another bandit camp just a little bit west of here. So we have this task right here for Scotta's bandits instead of Willem's bandits. So let's go ahead and help out the Seraph in this area as well. We can also come into our hero panel here and start unlocking some more traits because we leveled up and we got more hero points. So I'll come back into Soul Reaping and we'll learn the next 2, which means we have a full option here that we can choose from, where we can either gain vitality, your incoming healing is increased, or your fear effects have increased durations. Inflicting fear generates life force. And then we have our original entering or exiting shroud increases all damage you deal for a duration. I think I'm going to go ahead and stay with that one for now, but we can now look at the Grandmaster traits here when we get more hero points. We have just gotten an item called Encoded Orders, which is actually something that was added into the game after release, and it's pretty fun, but I'm just going to hold on to this for now, and it's going to be a very, very long time until we get to this, because this is kind of related to a different story that exists further in the future, but we could participate in it now if you wanted to, but I kind of want to go in like chronological order. So for now, we're just going to be fighting all these bandits here, and we got this point of interest as well.
I could use some help.
And I think we complete the task right there. We do indeed. Let's go ahead and get out of here. And I see a point of interest right down here that we can get. And then we have a scout here as well. But I know there's a little bit of stuff down here that we did not get to on our previous character. So I think I'm going to talk to the scout to see what the scout wants us to go to next. And then we're going to go ahead and explore a little bit south. But then we'll come back up and explore this area on the northern end here. But let's go ahead and talk to the corporal here and see what's going on.
Best watch your step in this area. My Seraph brothers and sisters maintain an outpost just north of here. But we're spread thin and constantly harassed by nearby bandits. The outlaws have 3 fortified camps to the west as well, so be careful. Anything you can do to secure this area would be appreciated.
So I think this next scout over here is going to lead us down here a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and grab this point of interest since it's right here, and we can get our task reward as well. So we have another entrance into Skritzburg right there, and we see the bandits are kind of harassing them as well. And right here we have a little bit of a bandit camp that we can go ahead and grab this point of interest, and then let's go ahead and head north here and do these 2 tasks that the scout was pointing us towards. But this next task is very interesting because there are a few different things that we can do, such as fight these bandits right here. So let's go ahead and fight them. We can also help out the seraph right here who is downed, so we can go ahead and resurrect the seraph. But then this task has a very special activity that we can participate in, and all around here we have a bunch of different ghosts here. And there's some bandits right there. It looks like the seraph camp is under attack, so we might go ahead and help them out. But first, let's go ahead and talk to this ghost, who is actually a ghost of a character from the original Guild Wars, and there are a bunch of different ghosts around here that are all characters from the original Guild Wars. So let's go ahead and chat with Elwyn Kirby here. He says, "I feel my spirit, it's being grounded here. There's something, some desire unquenched. Please help me. What is it I ache for?" So if we happen to know these characters from the original Guild Wars, we would be able to know what they wanted during Guild Wars 1, and then we would be able to select that here. So we're not entirely sure, but something fun we could do is we could actually type in a command to open a wiki page, which we can actually do with anything. So we could just type /wiki, and then I'll type in this character's name, Elwyn Kirby, and I'll press enter, and then you don't see it on screen right now, but it opens a wiki page for me. But then we can see that it was love that she wanted, and then we know that she misses her children. So we can go ahead and complete this part of the task where we just helped out this spirit over here. Let's go ahead and find one more. We have this individual with a very fun name, Isabel Navari. So let's go ahead and type in /wiki Isabel, however you pronounce it, Navari, and then that opens the wiki page, and we can talk to her, and she says, "I am dead, but I'm not at rest. Why do I still linger? Help me find the answer, please." And we know that she was murdered and is seeking revenge. And we know that she was a victim of a business deal gone bad. So those are 2 spirits that we could help. Let's go ahead and get this hero challenge right here of this restless arboreal spirit that we can go ahead and just fight really quickly. So this hero challenge is now completed, so we can go ahead and head further north here where we see a ton of bandits as well as an ally fighting them. So let's go ahead and participate in this event. We have the Seraph Observer's waypoint right here, and now let's go ahead and bunker down here and protect all the Seraph right here. We got some onions here right now as well. I don't know if I have the harvesting tool. I do, and we got 2 onions. We have completed this task, so let's go ahead and get our rewards right here. And we also leveled up to level 28, which is very nice. We can select our food item, and our previous food item is gone now. So let's go ahead and select just magic find here, plus 10% increased magic find. So we'll get a little bit extra loot as we fight monsters all around here. And then I definitely need to clean up my inventory. I definitely need bigger bags at some point. Just got plus 46% magic find there, as well as some new skin unlocks. And then this event is complete, so there is a vista right here. Let's go ahead and check this one out. And now we have one more task further to the west here, so let's go ahead and come through this valley right here. We see some flesh weavers, which are like demon-like creatures that we can go ahead and just run past because we don't need to fight them. And we have just discovered lion's head outcrops. And I really want to share something really cool right here where we just came under this broken bridge. But let's go ahead and go up towards that bridge, and we can see a hint towards maybe a potential future update to the game, where we see that there is a map portal right there, but there is no way to get over to that map portal. And I mean that literally, because we have mounts now and we can't even get over there because there are, well, my raptor's not upgraded, so I can't even make that jump, but there are invisible walls blocking it, and there is not a map in the game that exists north of Brisban Wildlands. There are a lot of maps in this game that are connected to Brisban Wildlands, but none of them are to the north of it. But this hints towards a potential future new map that we could explore. But of course, that is a potential future map, and it's not a map we will be exploring right now because it doesn't exist, but it's something to look forward to. But let's go ahead and come over towards this task right here. We can actually infiltrate this bandit camp right here. So let's go ahead and get this disguise, and then we can go ahead and come into here and we can start doing a bunch of things. So for example, we have this baneberry poison right here. we have this well of water that's
What are you
committed a
up
war
to?
crime, and let's poison this water so that it poisons them, and then we can go ahead and negotiate our way out of that situation, and then we can just go ahead and destroy some things, collect some bandit orders that I just collected through the tent right there, and then fight some of the bandits in here in duels. You can talk to this reluctant bandit here that says, do you see the plan for our next attack, the one all the way over in Keswick's Hills? And you could say, of course, it seems like it'll be profitable. And then he says, yeah, I'm guessing Shannon's thinking the same thing, but those medical supplies, won't people die without them? And then we can say, sounds like you've already made up your mind. And then he says, you're right, I don't want to do this. Kidnapping Squid is one thing, but I have family in Keswick. Maybe it's time I return to them. And then I can say, I think you're right, and good luck. So we kind of just converted one of like the bandits here that was being a little reluctant, and we kind of pushed him away from the thievery and stealing of medical supplies. Let's go ahead and exit this camp here, and then I think we can turn these in, or we have to go somewhere else to turn them in. Or I guess it doesn't go into our inventory. I've been collecting all these bandit like battle plans right here, but let's go ahead and just collect a little bit more. And we have some onions here, so we can go ahead and increase our onion stockpile by a little bit more. We have a bandit brawler right here, so let's go ahead and fight with this brawler and hopefully injure him a little bit. We can stab him, we can backstab him, we can do a tactical strike where we basically just dodge around him. So I think it would be good if we did the tactical strike and then used our backstab ability, but he moves a little too fast for us, so let's go ahead and just finish him off there. And then we completed this task, so let's go ahead and head over this way, which is actually right next to where we ended our explorations in Brisban Wildlands on our Ashura. So I'm just going to grab this waypoint right here, and then maybe I'll do a little bit of mining right here just to get some iron ore for our crafting. We have a ton of people down here just collecting all the different iron and silver veins that exist in this area, and I actually do not have a mining pick, and I believe if I remember when we were on our Ashura, we can buy one up here. So we have this grid right here, and we also have a splendid chest, so let's go ahead and grab this. We're at plunder hold right now, so I'll go ahead and just buy a steel variety of each of these tools, and then let's go ahead and get some resource gathering done. We just successfully gathered 150 different resources here, so we have an achievement to get up to 500. And I think if we come into tradesmen here, we have actually completed a full achievement here where we salvaged 500 different items. I did that like in between this episode and the last episode, I think. And then if we come into tradesmen here, we have a very special achievement here called Agent of Entropy, which I just leveled up to level 29 because I got that waypoint. But coming back into here, and then we can see that this achievement is to salvage 200 different items, and we'll get 2 achievement points when we do that, but we can repeat it an infinite amount of times, where the first 125 times that we do it, we will get achievement points for it. And I have completed this all 125 on my main account, and I've actually done it like tenfold or something like that, which is very funny. But we're at the start of this little adventure here with this achievement on this account. Leveling up to level 29, we have 8 more hero points, so I'll go ahead and come into here, and we can only learn one new trait right there, which is this trait here, where maximum life force is increased by 20%, so we can stay in Shroud for even longer, and we'll have even more health, assuming we are able to accumulate enough life force, which we probably will be able to. But beyond gathering a little bit of the ore veins around here, we have already completed this area on our Ashura character, so let's go ahead and dip this way, and we can go ahead and talk to the scout here. And I think there's like 1 or 2 more tasks in this area that we have not done yet on our assurance, so let's go ahead and do those.
You're standing in the heart of the Brisban Wildlands, and just your luck, you're in the middle of all things criminal. In the west, you've got Vandal's Claim, which is thick with bandits. Just don't stray too far, and you should be okay. In the east, the Inquest have a fortified lab, and we've heard rumblings about them trying to ally with the bandits. Gods help us if that comes to pass.
So I think there's like 3 more points of interest, 1 more task, and 1 more vista that we have not explored in this map. So let's go ahead and come down here, and we have this point of interest right here that we can go ahead and get. And then we have a task just a little bit south of here, and it is actually an Inquest base, and we know that the Nightmare Court, the Inquest, and the bandits are all allied in this zone for whatever they are wanting to do. We actually have a waypoint right here, so let's go ahead and grab this one. And then we have a point of interest right there that I might go ahead and grab really quickly. I believe this is like a little bit of a Skrit cave. It's not necessarily Skritsburg, it's just like another little outpost that they have. We have like 5 wargs right there that were like fighting each other, and then they wanted to come attack me because I walked right past them. But coming around right here, we have a little bit of a cave, so let's go ahead and come into here. And we have some juvenile morellos, and then yes, we do have some Skrit in here. as well as a bunch of assurance technology right there stockpiled in the center, and then two additional things right over there. But we got this point of interest, which was Skritsani, or how you pronounce that. So let's go ahead and come out here, and then we have this task right here. So let's go ahead and come into this Inquest base here, which is NRAV Exploration Post, and then let's just start wrecking it. Summon my minions here to help us, and then I pulled quite a bit of the Inquest here, so let's go ahead and come into Shroud, and then we can blow them up with our Shroud abilities here, and also heal us quite a bit. We see that our life force has barely gone down, because this generates life force, and we like lashed it onto like 5 different people there, so it just kept us in it. We have a bandit delegate right here that we can fight as well. And then that is everything that we had to do for this task. So let's go ahead and dip out of this Inquest base here. And then I think there is only a couple more things left for us to pick up. And then between our Assurance character and our Sylvari character, we'll have officially explored everything there is in Brisban Wildlands. So I think right over here we have another smaller bandit camp that has a point of interest in it right here. So it does indeed have a point of interest. Let's go ahead and grab this, cut per circle, and then I think there's only one more thing left for us right over here. So let's go ahead and grab this sapling right here, because I noticed we're just about to complete this achievement, which will level us up all the way to level 30, which means we have unlocked chapter 3 of the Sylvari personal story. But if you come right over here, we have a very beautiful area of Gotala Cascade, which is coming out of the Skritsberg Mountain, Mount Scratchington or something like that. So let's go ahead and take a look at this vista right here. It's actually called Mount Nashington, not Mount Scratchington. But let's go ahead and get these diving goggles and jump down here. And then we have a point of interest right here called the Elgato Grounds, and we have a champion Elgato Priestess right there, which is just a random event, but I am going to ignore that. And we can actually swim through this really cool area right here that has some fishing in it that we can do once we unlock fishing. And there are some Hylic all around here, but I think I'm going to go ahead and actually waypoint back to the Grove, because I believe now officially between our Assurance character and our Sylvari character, we have 100% explored Brisban Wildlands. So let's go ahead and return to the Grove, and I'm just going to do a tiny bit of map completion here. With having leveled up to level 30, we have now unlocked chapter 3 of the Sylvari personal story, which is what we are going to be doing next episode. And that is a very exciting thing, because now we will have explored all 5 of the races start to the personal story here in Guild Wars 2 of the human, and then we did the Char, and then Norn, and then Assuran, and now we are finishing up the Sylvari. And when we look at the Guild Wars 2 personal story, it is divided into 3 different acts. So we have Act 1, which is like the start of the game, which we have been exploring exclusively here in this Let's Play series. And Act 1 encompasses the first 3 chapters of the personal story. And then Act 2 encompasses the next 3, chapters 4, 5, and 6. And then Act 3 encompasses the last 2 of chapters 7 and 8. So with having completed the first 3 chapters of each of the races' personal stories, as well as exploring the level appropriate zones for each of the races here, we will have officially explored all of Act 1 that we basically have in the game. Of course, I skipped over different story options that we could have done, as I've only selected 1 for each of the races. But with that, we've also explored 5 different professions. So soon we will be moving on to Act 2, but I want to make a little bit of an announcement here, where right after we finish Chapter 3 of the Sylvari personal story, I'm going to have 3 more episodes of Act 1 that we will be exploring, where I'm going to be creating 3 brand new characters, 1 for each episode, and we're going to quickly look at a little bit of story that I want to explore that we kind of skipped over, which I think is important for us to know moving forward into the game. And then we will be exploring the last 3 professions that were available at the release of Guild Wars 2. So we're going to be quickly looking at the Mesmer, the Elementalist, and the Warrior. So it's going to be a lot of content in like 3 episodes, and we're just going to be quickly looking at things and kind of learning some important things, basically kind of just tidying up the last little bit of Act 1. But after our next Sylvari chapter, and after exploring those 3 different characters that we're going to be briefly looking at, we will have officially completed all of Act 1 of the Guild Wars 2 personal story, which is a very big moment for me, because we have been playing through this Let's Play series quite a bit, and I have been having a ton of fun with it. And as we just progress through the game more and more and more, I just get so happy because we've already covered and explored a lot of the game. And then of course we have a ton more to explore, where we're only going to be basically like 33% done with the Guild Wars 2 personal story, and we're going to have like around 40 episodes. I think episode 40, if I am doing my math correctly, will be the first episode of Act 2 of the Guild Wars 2 personal story, which is very funny. And we also leveled up to level 31 here as well. But let's go ahead and get this point of interest right here. And then let's go ahead and get one of the vistas here. And then starting off in next episode, we'll just finish exploring the rest of the grove because we are almost done with it. And then we'll go ahead and dive deep into the third chapter of the Sylvari personal story. Let's do this little bit of a jumping puzzle right here. Jump up here and actually fall, so that's a little bit embarrassing. So let's go ahead and go back around. Let's make the jump this time. We just got the point of interest, the Centaur's Path, and let's look at this vista. And then that is everything that I'm going to do in this episode of my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play series. I hope you all have been enjoying watching this episode. I very much enjoyed playing through it, and I also hope you all are taking good care of yourselves. Remember to drink some water, check your posture, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time on the Road of Tyria. Goodbye.